this doesn't get dragged out till next year, because this is, there's only 3 or 4 heavyweights out there we're talking about, and they've all fought each other recently. Ortiz is still out there. Remember, Ortiz was literally a punch away from knocking out Deontay Wilder, so he's still out there in the peripheral as well. But, man, these two got to get in the ring this year, Jelani.
Yeah, and I think it was Tommy Hearns. He said he's confident that Joshua and Wilder, will happen this year. So hopefully, that is the case. Because with the whole
real quick, man, because you again you hit on another good point. If I was Deontay Wilder, and I've said this on Ringside at the show I do with Gilbert Batista, I've said this on Sports Done Right, my show, and I'm going to say it on the Wait a Minute show. I would implore the champ, Deontay Wilder, to really get in touch with Lennox Lewis and see if he can be some type of advisor, come out for a few weeks, work with him in training camp, because one of the things that worries me, and you saw it again in the Ortiz fight, he stands, Jelani, with his feet so far apart that when he's flailing like this, he is off balance a lot of times, and he almost got caught and got sent down. He was out on his feet in that fight with Ortiz, but Ortiz's problem in that fight is Deontay made it to the bell in the 7th round, and Ortiz did not jump on him at the beginning of the 8th round and let Wilder back in, and obviously Wilder wins the fight.
So you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? I'm making great points here with my man Vince Wright, the governor of Minnesota. So we're going to switch sports, and we'll finish up here. Kind of got this big thing going on. I think some people know about it. Down here in Georgia, I think they talk about it a little bit. The Masters, I think, is about to happen. So,
small little golf tournament down there.
Yeah, just a little bit, kind of like at the city park, something like that. But so with this going down, I hear all the time now they're talking about Vegas has Tiger Woods, winning this, and this is going to be, the major that he starts, winning, and I guess maybe turning things around and everything. Now, and I've talked about it before, anytime Tiger's playing and anytime he's playing well, it does wonders for everybody. And I'll be honest, when he played at Valspar and then he followed it up with the next tournament, I forgot the name of the tournament, but I actually watch. Right. So I will be catching, pieces of this, this weekend as well, and seeing what's going on. Right. So do you agree with Tiger Woods being the favorite to win the Masters this weekend?
I do not agree with him being the favorite to win the Masters. I agree with him being a top 10 pick for sure, because of obviously the way he's been playing here over the past few weeks. But no, not the favorite. We got to see that. You got to show it to us on the course first. But I get it. I mean, golf is Tiger Woods. I mean, honestly, he's the only one that still moves the needle for ratings. The Valspar, the tournament you just mentioned, because he made it to the weekend, their viewership was up almost 40% from the previous year. Same with the Bay Hill tournament, which was the tournament the following week that he played in, Arnold Palmer's course.
That's right.
And the same thing there, almost 45% additional viewership over the year before. What you're seeing with Tiger is really remarkable in this sense, Jelani. In terms of golf, my man, there has been a couple of great second acts. Ben Hogan, after he ran his car into a Greyhound bus, and less than a year later, after all those broken bones back, I think it was 30s or 40s, comes back less than a year later to win the U.S. Open. The one that kind of goes back to our recent history is Jack Nicklaus winning the Masters at age 46, when nobody thought, back in 1986, when that was never going to be done, anybody in their 40s winning anything. And obviously now, because the guys train well, they eat well, they do everything else better. Now you can play very good golf into your 40s. Phil Mickelson won about 3 weeks ago. And Tiger can do it, man. But for him to do it, Jelani, he's got to be key. Here's the key. He's got to be good with the driver during this tournament. He's got to put the ball in the fairway. You can't hit it in the rough here at Augusta. You can't spray the ball. or Tiger won't make it past or to the weekend, let alone play the weekend. So this is going to be the first real test now. This is a major. The rough is hyped up, all the difficulties hyped up, and now we're going to see.
Yeah, and this will probably be his first real major challenge, if you will. I mean, but the guy's coming back, from an operation that no one said could, he could come back from, and it's funny. I got a friend. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to embarrass him, but it was funny because he didn't really see he was like, what's so bad about having, back problems? And I'm just like, fool, do you not understand everything you do when golf deals with your back,
Right.
And so I'm like, the twisting motion, maybe have you noticed that? But, so that, like you just said, that whole storyline is in there and that plays a part. So, everyone got Tiger Woods, but now you said you don't necessarily have him winning. So if you don't, are there a guy or maybe two or three guys that you may have in there that could win this tournament?
Yeah, exactly. There are a few. So, okay, we take Tiger's name off the list. You got two-time champion Bubba Watson, who is, again, after a couple years of not winning, he's already won a couple times this year. He always feels good around Augusta now. He's got the shot-making capability. He's got that big booming driver. And, you cannot discount Bubba Watson this weekend, as well as, people are talking Phil Mickelson. Rejuvenated Phil, by the way, has won the majors 3 times. He's trying to tie Tiger with his 4th green jacket as well. So you got Phil Mickelson out there. A couple other guys that I'm thinking about as I'm kind of doing my pools and fantasy golf and whatnot, Jelani. Who else do you got out there? Of for the no names, Charles Schwartzel, maybe?
Let me ask you a question real quick.
Yes, sir.
What was the gentleman, they said he won the Masters, and I think the next year he couldn't play because he fell down the steps or something like that?
Oh, God, who was that? Yeah. He had an accident, got injured himself. I forgot.
I can't think of his name either. But
yeah. So, there's him. Jordan Spieth, obviously, he's the 2015 champion. Sergio Garcia, the defending champion. I worry a little bit about Sergio because the defending champion is, in a sense, Jelani, kind of the host of the tournament. Like last night, he selects the menu for the champions dinner. He's running around, shaking hands, the pictures, all that stuff. But if Sergio can get off to a good early round on Friday and get himself in position for the weekend, keep an eye on him as well. Ricky Fowler, I'm really looking forward to seeing if Ricky Fowler can do something this weekend. He's won a few times now on the regular tour, waiting for that major breakthrough in terms of the Masters, because I know American golfers, that's the tournament they want to win, is that Masters. So,
right.
But getting back to Tiger, he's got to hit the ball off the tee with the driver. In those tournaments you were watching, he was hitting a lot of 3-woods off the tee, a lot of 2-irons. You can't do that on this course. He's going to have to get his driver out, and he's going to have to put it in play. So if he can do that, Tiger's going to be right there on Sunday, and we're going to have a lot of fun watching this Sunday if he can do that.
Yeah, and I think Mocha Bella just said it was Dustin Johnson, I think, who got injured.
Okay, yep. And there's another one to keep your name on, too. By the way, the number 1 ranked golfer in the world, Dustin Johnson.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So last question, I'm going to get you out of here with this, and it is a Tiger question as well.
Oh, of course.
Tiger, if he wins, and we know the entire golf world and outside of that is going to explode and everyone's going to, turn into Skittles, and everything. But
right.
Is Tiger Woods built again for that type of pressure? Because remember, the pressure that was on him before he made it seemed so simple because he was just winning, and he would get himself out of, situations that he would get on holds just by, just being so aggressive and confident, in his game.
Right.
And so I don't know if that Tiger is back, but if he wins the Master, I think that type of pressure and expectations that people have had on Tiger is going to return. So do you think he will be able to handle that pressure?
Yes, we are dealing, and this is what, if you watch all the kind of lead-up stories on the Golf Channel, ESPN, that's what you're hearing now, is that we have a new Tiger who, in a sense, is so, and I think you heard this, I played some sound on my show last night, him and his new burgeoning friendship with Phil Mickelson, his nemesis of 20 years ago, but now realizing that, hey, we're at a different point in our careers. We're towards the tail end of our careers on the PGA Tour. That was then. This is now. Phil reached out to Tiger, has been a good friend to him during the past couple of years with these injuries. Phil's talked about how he roots for Tiger when he's at home watching golf, and, these past couple of tournaments Tiger was in. And I think Tiger, I would often say about Tiger in his heyday, regarding that, if he could incorporate kind of how Phil is with the crowds, and as Phil's walking between holes, he'll fist bump the kids and all this stuff. And I get Tiger's kind of a different dude, and needed to be, because he's on a different plane. But right now we're seeing Tiger, a guy who literally 6 months ago literally told us he wasn't going to be able to play golf ever again, to now having that surgery, feeling great. So far, so good. No pain in that back, no pain in the knee, and now starting to get his confidence back. So he's not, he's not having the chip yips anymore. He's not putting bad. He's just got to get the driver under control, and then he's back. And if he can win this week, let's talk about that very quickly, my man. And if he wins this week, for this to be the tournament where he wins on the second comeback and starts it all over again, forget the expectations. Tiger knows what's going to be expected of him, and he gets that, and he knows how to deal with it. It's the fans that need to kind of temper expectations and whatnot. But if he wins this week, man, the golf gods are going to be smiling down, because then, he's back, he's on. And by the way, if he wins this week, then he's only 3 behind Jack and trying to get 4, and then that talk starts up again. Can he catch Jack now again, after we all thought he was done and shot?
Right.
So this has the opportunity to obviously be a very historic weekend in Augusta, Georgia. But there is a lot of golf to play. Let's start tomorrow morning. We'll see how he does, and obviously everybody's pulling for him. And real quick, Jelani, you notice that in the crowds, too, nowadays with Tiger Woods, man. It is more than just the respect and love. There is a adulation where 99.9% of the people on these courses are pulling for this guy and loving him, and realize what they had when he was in his heyday. Mm-hmm. And now, everything went down, the affairs, the wife, the golf club into the window, all that stuff. And hopefully now he's just cool being Tiger Woods' dad, living life, and hopefully we get to see him win this weekend. It would be phenomenal.
Yeah, he's been through everything. He's been clown, and it's kind of like they, I don't want to say brought back to reality, but, it showed that people can still, try and knock you down. No matter how, great compliments you made, there are always going to be people that try and bring you down, regardless of the mistakes that he made. But, so, Governor, I appreciate you for coming on tonight. And it was fun. We're going to have to do this again, in the future. But please, before you leave, let these people know how they can reach you and your show that you do, just like we were just talking about. It's on Tuesdays, Sports Done Right, but
appreciate
also you got a boxing show, so speak on it.
Hey, absolutely. Hey, first off, appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me on with you, man. The Wait a Minute show is an X-Squad staple. I love the show, love what you're doing, man. And even though you're a Michigan fan, I'm going to let that slide. Don't let that one slide.
Okay.
But But you can follow me, folks, on Twitter at the Big Smooth One, the number one after the Big Smooth.